Teach us.
So this is something that's going to become like a huge issue due to global warming. So a lot of areas like that are coastal are going to be displaced due to rising temperatures, rising ocean levels, and we're not going to be able to put them anywhere. And it's going to become a problem that we really have to solve and deal with.
And
Wait, hang on. Go a little further.
So
what people are who, what, where, how?
So global warming, like I hope everyone believes in that, is an issue, and it's causing national ice caps are melting, ocean levels are rising, and as a result, like a lot of coastal areas, small islands like the Philippines and stuff like that might not be around within the next 20 years. And those people that live there are going to be forced out of there to wherever, and we have to accommodate them or try and limit the reactions of global warming.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Morgan, number 2.
Over 50% of the world's population lives within 50 miles of a coastline. So with rising ocean levels, that's going to displace billions of people. And the people that face the biggest impacts of climate change, especially right now, are people in poverty that don't have the ability to move very easily or have access to clean water and food as much either. So
look at the two of you. Look at this room of people, right? You just said some really intense. If I interpret what the two of you just said, it basically is that nobody in this classroom, by the time you get to be my age, your world is going to be really, really, really different. So how are they going to be affected?
I think there'll be a lot of overpopulation issues because we're going to have to accommodate so many people, and I feel it would be unethical to just reject them. There's a lot of refugee issues that are going on. And
these folks here.
Yeah, and we're kind of turning a blind eye to it, but it's become a serious issue, and we're going to have to take action against it, and it's not going to be we can just ignore it.
So where in the United States are we going to, where are we going to run into this?
Already along the coastlines in Miami, New Orleans, and in the south down there, Gulf of Mexico, especially.
Yeah, so New Orleans is going to be gone. Yeah. I think I read that by the time most of you are my age, a third of Florida is going to be underwater. So it's I don't know where you're going to go on. Where are you going to go where your kids going to go for spring break? You know what I mean? They're going to go to Fort Lauderdale. What are they going to do? Who has a question?
So my question, my name is Rob, by the way. My question for either of you who want to answer it is, there are earlier projections like you see in Al Gore's 2001 film, An Inconvenient Truth, that already predicted a lot of these coastlines and a lot of these land masses to have been underwater by years before today. Going forward, you were saying that these same things are going to happen when these estimates were made 20 years ago, that by now it would be there, and it's not. So I'm not a climate change denier. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you hear all these estimates about people going underwater, but the rate of change so far has been one that has been relatively people have been able to move because the rate of change has been so slow. What is your perspective on these estimates and the legitimacy of the rate of change of the sea levels?
Bro, what's your name again? Rob? Yeah. That is by far the best question of the 2 days. Can you respond to that? You guys have a response to that?
I don't know what the timeline on the estimates is, but realistically, it's eventually going to become a problem. Maybe not within the next 50 years. I don't know when. Do you know when it was estimated at all?
Yeah, Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth. So go back, 16 years or so.
But it's definitely going to become a problem at some point in time, and we can take action now to help alleviate it, or we could just continue to do our own thing and care about America or ourselves.
So your take is that it's going to happen. Yeah, whatever the timeline is, it's going to happen. Morgan, number 2.
Also, maybe the impacts of it aren't as largely felt in the United States right now because we are a pretty well-developed country, but in other countries, in like India and like I think you were saying the Philippines and countries that don't have as much infrastructure to handle the impacts of climate change are already, suffering incredibly. And I think it's maybe not what we see on the news most importantly every day, I guess. Not saying that it isn't important, it is, but not like the headlines right now.